Probably heard this already, but Wyoming has become the first state to actually clarify the legal status of DAOs, or decentralized autonomous organization. On Wednesday, Wyoming Governor Mark Gordon signed the state's DAO Focus Bill 38 into law, which now allows Wyoming to recognize DAOs as limited liability corporations, or LLC, effective July 1. And LLCs are hybrid entities that combine the characteristics of a corporation with those of a partnership or a sole proprietorship. And with it, DAOs are becoming very, very popular right now, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about decentralized autonomous organizations. And in a few minutes from now, we'll also be discussing what are the issues, what are the challenges, what are the security concerns, and more importantly, what are the regulatory parameters, or what are the regulations that are saying right now. Hey everyone, this is Dr. Lowell Salamas again of NYC Emerging Healthcare Technology, your go-to place if you want to learn more about blockchain, machine learning, artificial intelligence, data science, and web development in healthcare, and also if you want to learn more about digital health. So today we are going to talk about the topic that is very interesting, and especially if you've been in the blockchain space and you've been following me, which I hope you are. We are going to talk about decentralized autonomous organizations. Now, if you haven't subscribed, please make sure to click that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so that you will be able to hear and see every time I upload new videos or new contents. So just a backgrounder for any one of you who do not know anything about DAOs. I have to talk about blockchain. So decentralized autonomous organizations are actually typified by the use of blockchain technology. And this technology actually, when we say blockchain, it really is just a digital ledger. So this digital ledger is used to track financial interactions across the internet that are hardened against forgery by trusted timestamping and dissemination of a distributed database. So this is where blockchain is becoming more and more important. So the cost of blockchain-enabled transaction and of the associated data reporting may be substantially offset by the elimination of both the trusted third party and that of the need for repetitive recordings of contract exchanges in different records. So one of the major features now when you talk about digital currencies is that a lot of these digital currencies are decentralized. So what it means when you say decentralized or decentralization, what I'm trying to say is that these digital currencies are not controlled by a single institution like a government or a central bank, but instead are divided among a variety of computers or networks, or otherwise known as nodes. So DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. These are trustless governance structure which operates without the need for any executive decision makers. And these are just some of the examples of DAO if you look at it very clearly. So Dash, which is also a cryptocurrency, the token Dash. Most use cases are used for governance and fund allocation. And it was launched in May 2015 and has been operational since 2015. The other more controversial one, which I will be discussing in depth a few minutes from now, is known as DAO, which is the organization. Not to be confused again with DAOs, or the Decentralized Autonomous Organization. The DAO was actually a venture capital, which was based on the Ethereum network. It was launched in April 2016, but defunct in late 2016 due to a very controversial hack, which actually damaged the entire ecosystem. Another one example is Augur, which is a software. The token is REP, and then what its use cases is primarily for prediction markets, sports betting, options, especially if you're doing investment in finance and insurance. It is also in the Ethereum network, and it was launched on July 2018 and has been operational since then. Another example is Team, which is mostly for data distribution and social media, name services, and an industry. It was launched in March 2016 and has been operational since March 2016. Another more important one is MakerDAO, which makes use of DAI and then MKR, which is mostly used for lending and stablecoin infrastructure. It was launched in December 2017 and has been operational since 2017. So if you can clearly see, there are a lot of decentralized autonomous organizations out there that have been existing since 2015. So the DAO, which was I mentioned, so this is the one I was telling you about, the DAO as an organization, which was used primarily as a venture capital investment. So The DAO was an organization that was designed, it was initially designed to be automated and decentralized. It acted as a form of a venture capital fund, and it was based on an open source code and without typical management structure like a board of directors. Now, to be fully centralized, the DAO was unaffiliated with any particular nation state, though it made use of the Ethereum network. It was launched with $150 million in crowdfunding in June 2016 and was immediately hacked and drained of 50 million in cryptocurrency. So the hack was reversed the following week and the money was restored via hard fork of the Ethereum blockchain. And the Ethereum miners and clients actually switched to the new fork. So a lot of issues and challenges were actually discussed in that, what happened, and, the regulatory authorities eventually came in. And one of the conclusions that they got was that the risk was actually because of the code. So there was unknown attack vectors and a lot of programming errors. And then additional risk also noted lack of precedence in regulatory and corporate law. So how governments and the regulatory agencies would treat DAO and contracts was unknown. It was so bad that in July 2017, the US SEC, or the Securities and Exchange Commission, actually published a report on the initial ICOs and DAO, and they concluded at the time that DAOs as a token sold on the Ethereum blockchain were securities, and therefore there were possible violations of US securities law. So this is one of the instances where ICOs, they equated ICOs in terms of securities, or they considered ICOs as securities. So what are the important aspects? So we talked about the regulatory aspect now. So the question that we have to ask now is that why do we need an organization like the DAO? What are the advantages of creating a decentralized autonomous organization? So one of the main reasons was really to eliminate human error or manipulation of investor funds by placing decision-making power in the hands of an automated system and a crowdsourced process. So it's actually because we don't trust each other, so we actually need a machine to actually tell us, to make sure that the system in place is fair. So this is one of the premise why it is important to have a DAO. So it was fueled by Ether, and the DAO was actually designed to allow investors to send money from anywhere in the world anonymously, and the DAO would then provide those owners tokens, allow them voting rights on possible projects. So again, there are a lot of controversies. Specifically, shareholder participation can be problematic. For example, BitShares has also seen a lack of voting participation because it takes time and energy to consider those proposals. And because of this, the precise legal status of this type of business organization is generally unclear and may vary by jurisdiction. So some similar approaches have been regarded by the US SEC as illegal offers of unregistered securities. So be very careful whenever you participate in decentralized autonomous organizations. And in terms of legal status, I just want to talk about what's happening currently. And if you're interested in DAOs, for example, where country would you be most probably going to go? So Malta has actually established itself as a crypto haven and nickname it's called the Blockchain Island, and is home to several cryptocurrency exchanges, including Binance and BitPay. And the process actually began in 2018 with the passage of 3 laws setting up a regulatory framework and legal environment for crypto and blockchain industries. In Wyoming, as I mentioned recently, the Senate in March 2021 introduced a legislation to permit DAOs to incorporate there under certain conditions as LLCs without centralized management. So there are a lot of concerns that are being raised right now regarding the legislation, which included whether it adequately guards against fraudulent ICOs or incompetently designed and insecure smart contract systems. And I guess along the way we will learn, which one is a much better aspect or a much better DAO that we have created. In terms of security, DAO's code is difficult to alter. So this is one of the things that makes it very, very interesting, is that once the system is up and running, it's hard to actually fix bugs that would otherwise be trivial, that they're common when you talk about centralized systems. So corrections to a DAO requires writing a new code and agreement to migrate all the funds, like what happened. And although the code is visible to all, it is also hard to repair, thus leaving the unknown security holes open to exploitation, and unless a moratorium is called to enable bug fixing, because it still needs the voting process. So I guess that's the end. Now, if you want to learn more about emerging healthcare technologies, blockchain, machine learning, artificial intelligence, then don't forget to subscribe.